I've had a lot of blessings in my life. I've had a lot of opportunity to learn and grow through the mentorship of others, and I feel called to give back.
Tulsa Talks is the podcast that is inspiring people to have everyday meaningful conversations to gain perspective and help the world.
Welcome to Tulsa Talks. Ray Riddle is our guest today. He's currently the president of a telecommunication company named Telecom. And Ray is also starting to launch a new path at how old?
65.
And about to start launching a business coaching
Business
career.
coaching, yes.
Wow. I thought I was old starting something up at 54. But I've seen other people thrive. I had a friend of mine that had a business. He used to work at an appliance place, and he started a business of these slick top ranges. And this was back in the 90s. And he had, after he retired, started doing this little thing in his garage. Next thing you know, within 5 years, he had like 6 different locations across the United States and building basically all of these slick top cooktops that existed for any of the major manufacturers. So Telecom, how
Yes,
did
sir.
you get to be the president of Telecom? Tell us a little bit about your history, please.
Absolutely. I started in the technology world right out of college and had a wonderful experience with a mentor who challenged me to be more than somebody who just carries a toolkit. He said, you know, the days of a toolkit carrying computer engineer are going to be brief. There'll be a run for a while, but they'll be brief. So you need to learn about the business. You need to learn about how everything integrates and what customers' needs are and how you can creatively meet them. So that mentorship led me to always have opportunities throughout my career and grew from the company that I started in right out of college, then went to Sun Microsystems for a while, had the opportunity to be a CIO for a credit union, CIO for a large bank, and then moved into a company that 10 years with it as their chief operations officer. It was acquired by Telecom in 2019. And when it was acquired, there was a gentleman who already had the chief operations officer title, and he and I had a discussion. I said, you know, I still feel like I've got something left to give. He said, we want you to be here. And I said, I want to be here because I feel led to be here. 6 months later, I was the chief operations officer, and then 3 years after that, president. So happens that the day I went to meet with the owner of the company to just tell him, hey, I'm ready to retire, he said, listen, I'm glad you're here because I wanted to talk to you, and I'd like to go first because I think what I'll say may impact what you want to say. Thought he was pretty insightful because he said, I'd like you to be the president of the company. So I just kind of kept my discussion about retiring in my back pocket for a month and told him a month later, hey, I'd really like to get a roadmap put together for retirement. So we've got a couple of years yet, and we'll be ready.
So how long ago was that?
That was now 2.5 years. So
Okay. So you have 4 or 5 year plan of exiting and
Yes.
coaching somebody else.
Coaching somebody up into the role and looking forward to that. We've been working on training and cross-training our team, helping them understand the business, understand more about the customer's business, and continuing to focus on delivering, service excellence to our customers. So training a lot with that.
Have you found that person that's going to replace you?
We have not identified that person yet. We have built out the job description, built out the qualities that person should be able to exhibit. In other words, the behavioral traits and qualities that they should have. And so we are now right on schedule to look for somebody to fulfill that role within the next 3 to 4 months so that I'll have a year to work with them and make sure that they're ready to go.
That's long-term strategic thinking on you guys' part.
I think that's part of what is among the most important things you can do as a company is think always strategically play chess, not checkers.
In talking about playing chess, not checkers, you're thinking about transitioning into another role, which is business coaching or consultation, whatever. Why start doing that at this age?
I feel that I've had a lot of blessings in my life. I've had a lot of opportunity to learn and grow through the mentorship of others. And I feel called to give back. I feel called to help lead and help teach those who want to learn and absorb more and grow in their life and their career. And I know that through the training that I've received and the opportunities that I've had, I wouldn't be where I am without the role of those mentors in my life. And I want to be in a position to help return some of that.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people don't know that people want to help and they're reluctant to ask for help. Back to that same guy that had those slick top ranges, his son-in-law, some of our first customers, he and his son-in-law were some of our first customers back in Dalton, Georgia. We mowed grass for a living to launch my business. And with that being said, Dave Pelletier was an Ivy League master's degree business person, MBA, one of the Ivy League, Cornell University, in fact. And Dave, I knocked on his door and he said, "Hey, Craig, yeah, I want you to do this for me, and whatever else I can do to help you, I want to help." So a few months into it, I started talking to him a little bit more, and he said, "Yeah, you want to learn about running a business the right way? I'll tell you everything that I know as you need to know it, and even maybe some things that you don't need to know right then, because I want to help you." There are people out there that want to help people because they know what they've received and it's valuable to give. When you're giving this, what is your what's your strategy? How are you going to build this out?
I've worked in the computer technology field for a lot of years, specifically in helping to grow teams, to be more productive, to be more focused on customer experience. And I want to help companies that are struggling in that market develop their teams further, give their teams opportunity to grow, help them see the difference between customer experience that is just what they expected and customer experience that's elevated another level.
Yeah.
What I understand is that it takes time. It takes more time than the business owner in a lot of cases has the ability to deliver, because in a lot of cases, in smaller companies particularly, the business owner is wearing a number of hats. And so they don't have the time to give to their team to help them grow and develop to the level they need to. Yet they depend on that team to deliver the customer service to their customers and the customer experience that the customers need to help them flourish. And so I know that I can help those folks in that niche by taking that responsibility, helping their team grow and flourish, helping their team excel and raise their level of performance, do more along the lines of an excellent level of service and excellent customer experience.
What size companies are we talking about? How many employees would be your niche?
My niche would be a company between 5 employees up to about 50 to 100. 100 would be the top end for me out of the gate, simply because in my field, in IT, in telecommunications, where the owners struggle is making the transition from 5 to 7 employees, from 15 to 20 employees, and the next break point is at 35. The next break point after that, it's at 50. And once they get beyond that, they've got enough infrastructure built in, they've got enough management structure built in to help them run the business without needing the help as much anymore to deliver that level of experience and that level of customer service. So those are the key break points. And so that's why 5 is the starting point, and why when you get up near 100, they really don't need that at that point. It'd be more in the coaching realm at that point to keep the owner or the office manager, the team manager, COO focused on the things that matter and the metrics that matter.
So you plan to help people with building out their infrastructure in companies, somewhere
sir.
between 5 and 100 employees. And how many companies need this type service that you're talking about providing?
I believe there's a lot of companies that need it. I know that in the United States, there's over 8,000 companies that are what are called managed service providers. What I also recognize is not everybody recognizes that they have a need. So there'll be a lot of customer education, a lot of opportunities to meet in conferences and other places through lunch and learns and other opportunities such as that, webinars and that, to help folks understand, hey, here's your pain point. Here's the solution.
Maybe people don't even know that they have a pain point.
A lot of cases they don't.
What does that
They
look like?
know that their results aren't what they want because their customer satisfaction ratings are low, or if they're not actually polling their customers, and a lot of cases the smaller companies don't, then they're getting too many calls from customers who are unhappy. The promises that were made weren't actually delivered upon, or they see that they have intermittent behavior. Sometimes they're at the top of their game, and other times how did we miss this? This is so basic. How did we miss it? And so they see these peaks and valleys.
No systems?
Consistency.
No consistency,
And no
systems?
processes. Lack of processes. Lack of checkups. Lack of follow through. Yes, sir.
So let's start transitioning into what this topic of discussion is today, which is what you just talked about, the challenges of running a small business. And some people don't even know that they have a challenge, or if they know that that there is a challenge, they might not be able to identify what that is. Is that what you just said?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
how does that work out in the business that you're going into? For you, can you see some blind spots that might happen? Can you see some opportunities from your experience to this point of where your growth pains might be?
Sure. It's interesting that when small businesses are formed, normally the first thought in terms of challenges in a business are related to who are my competitors in the market.
What does that matter if you're doing something at a level of excellence that nobody else is doing? Why are you going into business if you don't plan to change the industry?
I think most folks enter business with the idea that they'll change the industry. I think then they fall into what I would call following the crowd. I think they see other businesses, some of which are their competitors, and they think that if they imitate them, surely they'll be successful. And the truth is they will have some success if they imitate them. And sometimes, I think it was Jim Collins in the book Good to Great said, the enemy of great is good. So when you look at the enemy of great is good, a lot of times we're confused or perhaps deceived by the belief, hey, we're good. And truth is, you are good. But you're not good enough to grow market share. You're not good enough to actually become the provider of choice. And so one of the things that folks think about typically is, hey, that competitor. Part of what I've learned and part of what we try to teach our team and part of what I hope to teach companies in the future is you've got to pull yourself above the people pile. Here's all the good. Pull yourself, elevate yourself to this next level.
Yeah.
And then elevate again, just keep growing.
Yeah. How do you differentiate yourself by being similar is a good question that I would ask.
It absolutely is a great question. And, So beyond competition, increasingly in our world, cybersecurity is a threat, compliance is a threat, actual vendor pipeline, meaning the marketplace being able to deliver the products to you so that you can deliver them to your customer. Constraints to the product pipeline are another threat to companies. And so understanding all these risks, and there are many more, several more, that would be elemental to ensuring that your business has no noticeable road flaws.
Yeah, build a sturdy highway.
Yes, sir.
With understanding expected risk and being pliable enough to make adjustments as things do happen in the real world.
Absolutely.
Challenges of the business that you're going into. What challenges do you see for yourself?
I think that it also revolves around understanding of need. Some folks don't understand that they actually have a need. They don't understand the value that may be provided by having a third party look at their situation and give them not only insights into what's actually happening or to other possibilities of why it's happening. Oftentimes, as a business owner, you're dealing with so many challenges in the day, so many problems throughout the day that you can't get to your to-do list to get anything done. And so the feeling of I'm just spinning my wheels becomes a little bit of an overwhelm for business owners.
And that's a good place just to get to normalcy and do it like everybody else instead of breaking through that barrier because you're working in your business instead of on your business.
Correct.
And bringing somebody like you into that realm can help them elevate themselves so that their company can be elevated.
Yes. Also to help them identify who within their team has the capacity and the desire and perhaps even already some of the skills to offload some of what they're doing in the business on a day-to-day basis so that they can elevate to work on the business and focus on the next thing that will help propel their business forward. Helping their team develop some cohesiveness, develop some processes so that things happen more consistently, so that they're dealing with less of an onslaught of problems and working through that.
So with the business that you've been president of the company of, you've built some relationships regionally, if not nationally.
Yep.
And you have a way of doing business that has a proven track record of success, at least to a certain level. And you have a know, like, and trust factor already in your life with this relational business that you're running. Everything's rosy for Ray going into this new business venture, right?
I would say, I would repeat what I said earlier. I've been blessed throughout my life. And not to say my life's perfect, not to say I'm perfect. I'm absolutely not. I am a flawed human being and I have my own challenges. However, I would say that life has provided for me an infinite number of opportunities to learn and grow. Every day I have those opportunities. And I am a guy who not only is a glass half full guy, but I'm also a layer below that where I'm just happy there's a glass. And so when I look at things, I have that perspective of this isn't something that's happening to me. It's something that's happening for me. So I seek to find why this is happening, not because I'm angry about something happening, but instead I'm inspired by where it can lead me and what I can learn from it. And in that light, I would say it's pretty darn rosy. When you have that kind of a perception of how things are, it's a perception that I learned through a mentor. And that's another reason why I want to give that back, because so many are lost in the world of why is this happening to me?
Yeah. Yeah. You said something that I think you can agree with me. There's different stances. And 12 years ago, 10 years ago, I thought I was supposed to talk at people. Then I realized I was supposed to be talking to people. About 8 years ago. Within the last 2 years, I realized that I'm supposed to be talking with people. Another thing that I think we can agree with is some people take a stance of things are happening to me or for me. I think we can take it to another level. And I think you've said it without saying it. The level to me is things happen to me or for me. And if they happen for me, we can progress to the point that they're happening through me.
Yes, sir.
So the challenges of running a business to you is a fun opportunity set in front of you, because you wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for the adventure that you see set in front of you. Is that agreeable?
Absolutely, it is. I love watching people grow, including myself. I grow every day, and I love what I do. It is a monumental weight off of your shoulders when the work that you do, you feel called to. When the work that you do, you feel blessed by, and the work that you do is fulfilling. It just changes your entire way you breathe about it, the way you think about it, and the way you look forward to it.
Yeah. The entire being of a man, when he's in his place that he is designed to be, having his life fulfilled through him, surrounded by others, having their lives fulfilled as well. It kind of changes the point from, I hate to go to work Monday mornings and can't wait to get off work Friday evenings.
Mm-hmm.
It changes that.
Absolutely does.
If you're dealing with, I can't wait till Friday and I hate to see Monday coming around, look at your life, see what you're doing, and make the adjustment. Life can happen to you, for you, or through you. I strongly suggest allowing life to flow through you so that you can have peace while you're doing whatever it is that you've been created to do. Ray, thank you for coming to the Tulsa Talks podcast today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
We are here to help you discover or develop your passions, how you can use them, and why you exist. How can we help you help others better?